Ready? Here comes a big jump for us. Are we gonna jump? Okay, 1, 2, 3, go! I mean, seriously, why do I sit inside when we could have this, right? And the lighting isn't that good in the she cave. So, what do you guys think? I'm feeling good. So I thought I'd give you guys a quick house update. I'm in the middle of painting. As you can see, there's the color. What are you thinking? It's called Time and Space. Because essentially, let me take you down here. This right here was the Oops paint, which actually looks darker than it actually is in real life. But it has a very blue tinge. This was obsidian glass, which just looked way too dark. And then this was the next shade up, which was Time and Space. Here's the contrast of the paint and the cabinet. Still quite a bit of a mess. Here's the top shelves. Getting somewhat organized. Coffee makers. And then my bay window, I feel like has finally gotten there. Let's do a skin check-in, because when I last talked about my skin, I was having breakouts from using the Bottega Organica serum with shea butter on top of a cream, with a cream that also had shea butter, and I was thinking about cutting out shea butter. Well, I did. I cut it out of my routine entirely, and I don't know. I feel like it's been this humongous, like hydration was my first big skin epiphany. Cutting out shea butter, I feel like is my second great epiphany. So I've been using no products with shea butter now for about a month, or 3.5 weeks. I don't know. If you want to know the exact amount of time, I can calculate it for you. But I've been actually washing my face in the AM, either with the Ayuna soap or the Pa'akai cleanser, then doing my Moon on a Rose toner, which I always do and talk about. I've been doing the Organic Flowers Wamisa toner. And then I used this for probably 2.5 to 3 weeks. And then I've just recently started alternating these two because this is one of my favorite oils. And my skin has been doing so well and tolerating oils every day. And so I'd been wanting to try this Osmia cream. I had gotten a sample from the Detox Market, and then Reagan from Indie Bow, she also sent me like a little packet of it. And so I did go ahead and pick it up because it's shea butter free. The oils that it has in it are apricot kernel, sweet almond oil, jojoba oil, and and castor oil. So I thought this was I was kind of excited to try it. Even though it's more lightweight, I was really interested to see that now that I've cut out shea butter, how my skin would respond. So the reason I decided to cut it out, and the reason it's been interesting that my skin has responded, is that they say that shea butter at times can mimic sebum and cause your skin to make less of it. And so I feel like I would use a product with shea butter for a week, my skin would be feeling glorious, and then it would get drier. And I would start layering more and more products on, and nothing. And then I would start to try to change something or add more layers. And now that I've cut it out, and I've only really been using the Olena oil from Honua Skincare and the Munok Nari, and this cream, I don't know, I'm really liking how my skin's been feeling lately. It has not been getting progressively drier. And look how lightweight this cream is. Super lightweight, but when mixed with a couple drops of the oil, it feels really dense, and the moisturization lasts. I actually want to get some of her hand creams too. I've been a little bit Osmia crazed lately. I got all my family all her soaps for Christmas, and I also got my mom the Osmia Night Oil as well as myself as a little Christmas present. I love that her body oils are a mixture of coconut oil and jojoba oil. They're just extremely moisturizing to my skin. I apply them exactly how she says, directly out of the shower, and they just work so well for me. So when I picked up this from the Beauty Heroes store, which if you're a Beauty Heroes member, you always get 15% off in their store, which I think is a phenomenal part of that subscription box. Like, you don't need to feel pressured to buy Black Friday sales or any other sales because you always get 15% off in the Beauty Heroes store. So then I picked up her water oil too, so that I could get the free shipping. And this one has a very nice, like, Christmas tree tobacco smell. It wasn't what I was anticipating, but I'm really enjoying it. So that's kind of what I've been up to with my skin and body lately. Let's do the Science 180. I do have to tell you, this year, probably my Science 180s are going to be a little bit more sarcastic and smart-ass-y. Okay, before we jump into the Science 180, I wanted to take a minute and tell you why I might be getting a little sassy this year. It's related to something I like to call green beauty backlash. It's something that I've been noticing on Instagram and YouTube and just in the beauty community in general, is that people came to green beauty wanting to escape, you know, toxic ingredients. They found out that, well, you know, some things maybe not as bad as you think. There's actually some science behind some of it. They were fear-mongered. They used expensive products that didn't work. They used products that didn't seem very knowledgeable. And now they're ready to believe anything anyone tells them, as long as it's backed by a scientific study or it's what a cosmetic chemist recommends. The reason I want to get a little sassy is because there's always the big picture to take into mind. And so that's what I want to do. I want to focus on the big picture. I don't want to focus on just saying that always science is right, because if you remember correctly, science at one point told us the world was flat and that we were the center of the universe. And that's still perpetuated today with Monsanto and the forcing on the American public of GMOs. So regardless of how you feel about GMOs, I don't personally support them. I know a lot of you don't either. And yet, you know, we're told they're scientifically fine. That's another issue. However, it's looking at the big picture and saying that maybe we don't know everything. And frequently when you read scientific studies, they'll end it with, more research is needed. So with that, let's jump into the Science 180s of 2018. So diving in, let's talk about an article I read in Wired magazine called "Inside the Lab That Grows Human Skin to Test Your Cosmetics." That's right, I said human skin. Now, before you bristle and are horrified, basically they're growing human skin so that we don't have to test products and ingredients on bunnies anymore. So I'll link the full article below so you can check it out. It's a short, easy read, but let me tell you some of the things that I found interesting about the article. So first off, it's an article about this company called MatTek. MatTek sells human skin samples in about the size of a small disc. It looks like a piece of jello. It's about 1/5 of a millimeter. Now, they create these discs of all varying kinds of skin so that they can test cosmetic ingredients, industrial ingredients, household cleansers, and so on and so forth. So how do they make these tissue samples? So they basically collect cast-offs of human tissue from places like hospitals. Now they take that tissue and they isolate the keratinocyte cells. Remember, the keratinocytes are the most plentiful cell in your skin. So then they don't just make a pile of keratinocyte cells, they actually create a 12-layer cellular matrix similar to human skin. So the bottom layer would be bathed in a moist, like blood-like, not blood, blood-like ingredient, and the top would be dry and flaky, similar to the way that our skin actually is. So companies will purchase them. Say a company wanted to test a household cleanser for irritation. They mix the chemical with this dye, and the dye will let them know what cells are living and dead. Then they apply the chemical dye solution to the tissue sample. Then they come back maybe 1, 5, 12 hours later, and they see how many cells are alive. Now this gives them not a completely accurate picture of how it will react on human skin. However, it gives them some idea of the degree of irritation. Now, say a company wanted to test an anti-aging ingredient. They don't actually take pieces of skin that are wrinkled. What they do, according to this article, is that they will apply the ingredient and see if it stimulates collagen to grow or stimulates elastin to form. You can see this is not an exact science. It gives us a picture, it gives us an idea, but it's not an exact science. Like I said, I'll link the full article below. I find it very interesting for what it helps us see, which is the big picture. That science is a practice, not a truth. And so for the Maui Minute, I'm taking you to the top of Haleakala. On New Year's Day, we went to watch the sunrise. We decided that was going to be our new family tradition. And we also got to see the supermoon set, which was beyond divine. So I hope you guys enjoy it.